Please listen carefully.
She's as funny as Lucy and she's in the know. She's as smart as Phil and always on the go. It's the Patsy Hoolahan Show.
Well, hello, boys and girls. And I have to say, everyone else that you might want to identify yourself as. But, you know, I've been wanting to do this video for a while. And, but there were so many that have done such a good job. I've been wanting to talk about detransitioning, when people transition from male to female or female to male, and then they find out that it was a hell of a problem and the surgeries and the hormone pills weren't exactly the way they were advertised. We at the Patsy Hoolahan Show love everybody, no matter what you decide to be. But we also love you so much that we don't want you to get hurt. So we want you to hear the stuff that they don't really want to tell you about.
2014 came, and I saw another psychiatrist, and he referred me on for surgery. But all this time, I was also receiving transgender counselling for a transgender support group, and my counsellor said to me, "You are a woman." That's what he kept on saying to me, "You are a woman." And even before surgery, he said, "You are a woman." And this was instilled in us through the support groups.
Well, that's terrible.
Part of your kind of transition horror story here is that you have a neovagina that isn't working properly, you have osteoporosis
and scoliosis.
I
think that was one reason.
So
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I mean, it's transphobic to say, but after I've been through the system, I 100% feel like I was part of some cruel medical and social experiment. Except for nobody checked on me, and if I offed myself, I would not even be included in any statistics. I'm sure they would just write me off as some other issues. So every time I went to consult and entered my history, my information, none of those people are studying like detransitioners. So when trans community says regret rate is 1% and complication rate is 1%, that's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
And also part of it too is that there was a rush because I was doing this as a senior, and then I was going off to college. I wanted to go off to college completely stealth, and so it was like full steam ahead. Just say what you need to say to get the surgery, it's going to be fine. And also the surgery wasn't performed by CHOP, they outsourced it to a plastic surgeon that doesn't really work that much with trans people. He's just a general plastic surgeon, but he was willing to do the surgery
with no understanding of trans male top surgery. So he's just gonna do your surgery. And so how'd your surgery come out?
For the first time, I look down and I go, what the hell happened here? It basically looks like he took a circle cookie cutter out where the breast tissue was, and kind of just like stamped and pulled it out. And he said that would kind of dissipate with time. And it didn't. So,
wow.
How many years ago? It's underneath where the incisions are. At this point, over 4 years.
I know that the whole medical profession is crazy, and they just throw out medications and stuff quickly. And so, of course, something like this that's bigger is going to have problems too.
Right. It's very important people hear this. It's not what you see on TikTok.
So wait, you think that people are always what they're born as?
Oh yeah, of course. You got
okay, wait. If people are always just what they're born as, then you're a baby. Why are you not a baby? Wait, why are you not a baby?
Because I don't presume the baby.
So are you saying that your biology changed throughout your life and you're no longer a baby because that thing has changed?
Absolutely. I am not a baby.
The same thing is true about my biological sex. I have medically transitioned to change my biological sex. I'm glad you're getting it. This is awesome.
You know what's so dangerous what you're saying? You're actually spreading misinformation. I mean, I'm on TRT myself. My testosterone is very low and my estrogen is
we're damn near 50.
Yeah. So, and my doctor, you know what my doctor told me? My estrogen is so high, he said I was I was in serious risk of developing cancer because estrogen in a male's body is cancerous. It's cancerous. Did you know that?
Do you even mention that when you talk about this stuff?
Yeah, estrogen in a man's body. Yeah,
it's cancerous.
Yeah, you paint this as like it's like with a magic wand, like everything's gonna be perfect, everything's gonna be so much better once you transition. But the fact is, you're not transitioning. You're just filling your body up with a bunch of drugs.
You're playing make believe.
Your appearance is changing, but that is just side effects because you're not born that in that opposite sex body that you want to live in.
Yeah, why is my HRT doctor telling me I need to keep my estrogen down because I'm at a high risk for certain cancers?
Yeah.
Why does he tell me that? And you can sit there pumping the shit in like, yes, more estrogen. There's no long-term studies as far as this whole HRT when it comes to changing your, playing make-believe with your sex.
Just call it affirming.
And you do realize that what's between your legs is an inverted version of what's between a man's legs. Literally, it is the same exact equipment. One is inverted and one is pushed out. That's the only difference.
I beg of you, please take a health education class because you need it. Not only is the one-sex model / theory not true, it's misogynistic as hell. We have entirely different bodies. We are not inside-out versions of you. Our bodies are unique from yours. And I know that means that you can't be who you want to be, but you need to accept it for your own reality and sanity, and for everyone else's too.
For the first year after getting bottom surgery, you have to dilate your vagina religiously because it's a brand new canal that needs to be kept open religiously for the first year. And now that I have this stenosis, I physically cannot dilate. My vagina still has depth, but it's so tight to the point that it could start to close and form pockets that could lead to infection, which means that I have to get another surgery. So I don't want any of y'all conservative ass bitches to twist my words. I do not fucking regret surgery. However, I knew recovery was gonna be hard, but nobody tells you that it could be this fucking hard.
Hi, Brett. For those of you who don't know, I am Zero, and I have a 6-year-old transgender daughter that we call Bug, and she is...
Right off the bat, her name's Zero. She gets a strike in my book. So mom here is transing the young boy. Dad, pissed off, doesn't want the young boy trans. Now she's e-begging.
Also, her father has filed for a modification of custody on the grounds that he says I'm making her be transgender. And that's really all I can say about that.
Well, your name's Zero. You probably are making her be transgender. You're pushing this. The kid's 6 years old. It's a boy. The dad is getting screwed and probably will get screwed. I'm sure she lives in Portland.
But at this point, I'm not talking specifics about the litigation.
I bet.
I think it's okay to say that we've got court this week, though, and I would really appreciate any good vibes, prayers, or whatever your jam is.
We're going to get to the GoFundMe for her legal fees to transition her 6-year-old. Meanwhile, the baby daddy's screwed trying to say, whoa, can you not transition my son?
At age 27, I am pooping in a bag.
So tell me your name and a little bit of your story, because you basically had a TikTok go viral.
My name is Ryan James. I'm a 27-year-old trans male from Boston, Massachusetts. I started transitioning when I was 17, so I was considered still a minor. I had top surgery when I was, I believe, 19. I had a hysterectomy at age 20 or 21, and I had phalloplasty back in 2020, right when the pandemic started, a day after.
Leftist spaces don't want to hear detrans stories. They don't want to hear about people making mistakes. And that's an issue, right? Because we need to hear both sides of the story. A lot of people don't know this. Having a phalloplasty, so female to male bottom surgery is, from what I understand, it's way more invasive, it's way more difficult, and it costs a lot of money, and it's possibly a lot more complications than male to female bottom surgery. And it makes sense when you think about it, because you're creating something that isn't there instead of just taking away something that is.
Rushing into such serious things is really not good.
We are manufacturing transgender kids. We are manufacturing their depression, their anxiety, and it's turned into a huge industry that people are profiting from after kids' lives are completely torn apart. The people are suffering. We're not trying to minimize their suffering. But why do we abuse them with hormone blockers and cut their bodies apart as a way to affect treatment? It's insane, actually.
Avoiding sacrospinal fixation. The surgery begins with marking the scrotal skin for the neovaginal graft, as well as the perineal flap, which will become the posterior introitus.
Yeah, they put a little happy music behind it, and it sounds like you're having a massage or something. Be sure to check out the channels of some of the people that were featured on the show today. They've got some really good content, and I think you'll really enjoy it.